All right, so I guess we are live now. Um, if my voice is audible, let me know in the all chat. I mean in the chat. Give me 1 minute, guys. All right, all right, all right. I'm sorry for the background noise. It should go in sometime. We'll wait for more people to join in, and then we'll start with the discussion. Market view is bullish as usual. There is nothing wrong with the structure. So you see, the budget is basically if you have analyzed the previous budgets, what happens after or before the budget. The budget is mostly a non-event, all right? There might be some spike in volatility. You might see some intraday movement here and there, but I'll tell you what exactly happens around the budget. So you see this one right here, right? This is the budget day right here on 2020, right? In 2020. So if you see, this demand was already very weak. So to not expect this is or to expect some kind of a big breakout is again, uh, I mean, not really an informed decision, all right? And again in 2021, if you remember, this was the demand zone. Actually, in Bank Nifty, it was testing the demand zone right here, and this supply was tested as well. So if price is now trying to go up, of course, it can take out the high, all right? So budget is mostly a non-event. The market will trend where it has to. So Bank Nifty again this year as well, it has been the strongest sector in this fall, and now it's going up. So it doesn't really matter. It's a bit extended in intraday, so I'm not talking really about intraday right now. All right, we are a bit extended in intraday right here, but sorry, yeah. So don't take any longs right now. Let the market dip. Maybe it will dip down to 50 EMA or something. All right. So don't take any longs right now. And if you have any doubts, you can send on the all chat. I'll start taking them up. Keep an eye on the sectoral indices. They'll tell you which sector is about to move. All right, Balaji Amines for a swing trade. Sarda Energy, right? Balaji Amines for a swing trade. No, don't take it. All right, don't take it. This demand zone has been tested once, twice, thrice. There was a move up till this supply. So this is why you want to take stocks which are breaking out through supplies, breaking out through previous highs. I mean, not exactly breaking out, but you want to see stocks which have not dipped a lot, because here the overhead supply is very less. The overhead supply here is very less, but look at this supply right here, big block of supply right here, and from there itself you get a dip straight down. So don't take it. It's about to be range bound in this area for some time now. So avoid Balaji Amines. There is nothing in this stock. Sarda Energy is good. Yeah, Sarda Energy we've been discussing for a long time. It's not fallen with the market a lot. This is a really good structure actually. This stock can outperform. National Aluminium hold, yeah. National Aluminium as well, really good. The supply has been tested multiple times. Right now, it's a bit far from the demand. All right, so that is a bit of a concern, which can affect this. Maybe if there's some volatility, we can see something like this again. So be prepared for that. All right, but don't dump it. Um, be prepared for that. On the hourly chart as well, the demand is somewhere around 106. So be prepared for a dip if it happens. RGL as well, really good good charts, guys, good ones. So RGL, you see, the last high was somewhere here. right? Last high was somewhere here. The demand zone of the last high is this one. All right. So right now, if you see, this is not actually the demand which you want to take, because this demand zone is actually um, this demand zone led to the last high. All right. So this supply is being tested. Let's see how it dips and reacts, and then you can buy it. The structure is good. The structure is really good. See, at this point in the market, when a lot of stocks have started downtrending, it really helps if you can find this kind of structure. So see, this kind of structures, almost every other stock had this kind of a structure somewhere last year, right? Sometime here, right? But if the stock is still bullish, even after what all has happened in the market, this is the time to actually make some good money doing swings. All right, you will see big breakouts. You might not see them today because all the money is flowing into Bank Nifty. So this is a characteristic of the budget. What happens is, or any event, right? The bigger indices are in focus, and the small caps and the mid caps don't exactly perform um, with the index. So in the last budget as well, if I remember correctly, I wasn't really trading small caps back then. 2021, right? So you see here, where is it? Yeah. So this was the budget day in small cap, right? Just a 2% spike. So they don't get affected really, right, by the budget until and unless some specific announcement is given regarding the small and the mid caps. So so you see in Nifty, so I'll discuss what was my plan of action from the morning in Nifty, so that it's actually clear. So you see Nifty is in a very healthy uptrend, no doubt about it, on the 5 minute, right? So this was the previous base. Now see, last high is somewhere here. This is not exactly a new high because this demand is very close. So you take a demand zone lower to that, which is this demand. So in the morning itself, it just dipped down and shot straight back up. All right, creating all this space here. So in the morning itself, Nifty dipped down here in 9:15 and then shot straight back up. So now when I'm seeing the 1 minute, when I'm seeing that the price is trying to break through this supply, I did not take this long because the 1 minute demand itself is very far right now. All right, so you don't want to take this. If you get into the habit of taking this, you'll also get into the habit of taking these longs. All right, you'll also get into the habit of taking these longs, which make no sense. So you always have to be consistent with your approach, because you cannot justify your long here and then tell me that you did not take a long here. All right, because both are technically the same thing. They're far from demand, and it looks like they're absorbing supply. So no trade for me today till now, and Bank Nifty just went straight up. So Bank Nifty, the structure has been bullish once this was taken out right here, and then every dip is now buyable. So you can in option selling as well. You can do this kind of a stuff. You can do this kind of stuff where you can see what the hourly chart is shaping up like, and you can take weekly positions. So suppose you're seeing something like this, right? So you know that next supply is somewhere here, or maybe this is your next supply as well. So and then your reference range gets created, which this is your reference range now. This is your supply and demand. So it starts breaking down here. You short calls. So you can do a lot of things with the index, which can make you some serious money. But right now, don't they do anything? We are at some supply, right? We are at some strong supply, and we are trying to retrace back down. All right. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. All right. All right. Right. So don't take long right now in the index. All right. So let's check out a few stocks as well. Simplex Infrastructure. It's very liquid. Yeah, I cannot talk about this one. It's very liquid. Structure is good. Your idea is correct. Structure is good. Um, but it's your decision. India Bulls Real Estate again. Now see, this demand is getting violated now. So nothing here. The strongest real estate stock is Oberoi Realty. Hopefully, you figured that out by now. Um, Oberoi Realty is the strongest real estate stock. Ignore whatever is marked. Oberoi Realty is the strongest real estate stock. The structure has been broken here, right? So this was a bearish flow, and now it's turning into a bullish flow right here. So if this supply, if you see that the price has stopped falling from the supply, you should start buying this stock. This is the strongest realty stock as of now. Also, be a bit careful if you're taking, if you're planning any longs in the index. All right, and why is that? That is because these kinds of stocks are going up, which is Sun Pharma is going up. It's breaking out into new highs. Britannia is going up. Now you see here, Marico is also up. So when you start seeing these kinds of stocks in the mix, Dabur is also up 2%. So when you start seeing these kinds of stocks in the mix of top gainers, you should always be cautious. Always be cautious, um, because this might be just a bounce because they have fallen a lot, but you can never ignore it. Bank Nifty is at supply as well, so these are defensive sectors. So be a bit careful if you're planning any longs in the index. All right, I would personally avoid trading the index until it comes down to some proper level. Maybe it drifts down here, right, to this demand, and till that time, India 50 will come down to this demand. So, or maybe even this one. So at least this one or this one is where I'll take any trade. Otherwise, I will not do anything in the index right now. All right, PM Industries. Let's check out. PM Industries, nothing. It's not reacting from the demand at all now anymore. So avoid this. All right, Titagarh Wagons is actually good. I'm holding a bit, all right, because promoters are buying in. This is a really strong chart as well. So you can take your call, but these are not proper levels to buy it, all right. So if you're buying here, please exit when it breaks this low. Don't hold it for long term. IRB Infra, all right. Just a sec. IRB Infra, we've discussed this multiple times. I talked about taking longs here, went up, came down with the market, again starting to go up. So this is a really strong structure. You should definitely keep a watch on this. This is the base right here. All right, this is the demand zone which you are watching. So really good one, IRB Infra, good one. Minda Corp, IRB Infra, but don't buy there. All right, IRB Infra, do not buy there. So, uh, so the first thing, or the first step to becoming a better trader is to recognize that these are much stronger structures than maybe something like this. So you always want to be in structures which look like this, which are trying to go up and are sustaining above some proper zone. So you have to differentiate between when the stock is somewhere here and when the stock is somewhere here, where the actual trend is starting. Right. So this is a good place to take a long trade. All right, because the market is very sane. But if you see something like this stock, all right. So when you see something like this, you firstly your immediate analysis, your immediate point of analysis should be what demand is the stock actually holding. Did it hold this demand? It did not, right? So when it did not hold this demand, so there must be some bearishness in the stock. So this is a bearish structure. So if this is a bearish structure, which supply broke this demand, and it's this supply. So suppose you're watching that the last supply is here and you're taking a long here. Your target is limited till this supply. It is bound to come down from that supply. So this is not a good structure where you want to take a long trade. All right. See again something like this. This supply broke this demand, right? This was the demand which made the last high, and then this supply stock never went above it. So trading these kinds of structures, expecting a breakout, it's of no use. Again, see this supply first test came back all the way. Now probably it's about to go till here. Future consume. All right. So HG Infra, if you see again, same thing. You don't want to buy these stocks, even if you see a good bounce from the lows. The bounce from the lows is the first step in the process. It takes a long time for the structure to develop. So bounce from the low is the first step. This is your reference range, and this is the second step, and here is where you can start looking for longs if you see that the stock is not falling on the lower time frame. All right, so bounce from the lows is not a good uh, not a good condition to take a long trade, right? It's actually the worst condition to take a long trade because you're far from the low after the bounce, and you're near the supply. Linde India was, I don't really remember. Yeah, all right. So this was a really strong chart here as well, and it gave a big move. Now it's ready again. So this is a really strong chart. You should definitely look into this one. It's forming higher basis structure is really good. This is what you want to look at when you're buying something. It's really good. Wellspun India, again, nothing in Wellspun India. You see, so this was the demand zone which we were watching, or maybe this one. It's everything is the same here. It's reacting from the previous one. So it went up till this supply. All right. So see, this becomes your reference range. So first reference range is when this supply is getting taken out, right? When this gets taken out, then it will test out the higher supply. So now something like this is about to happen before it moves up. So probably avoid this. There is some time to this stock. Granules for swing, again, I discussed this entire thing. Granules, why do you want to buy granules for swing? Once this low is violated, it's done. So where is the misunderstanding in the structure? This is not a bullish structure at all. Is there a straddle at this level? There is no straddle, and on a budget day, you should be a bit careful. But I think this might come down till the 50 EMA, and it's not really about the budget at all. It's just about um, how the structure of the thing is shaping up. Nifty is actually much more bullish. So let's see which sector is. Right. So Nifty IT is trying to recover. Right. This is why Nifty is bullish. So you see, defensives are trying to do something here. Right. Defensive stocks are trying to do something. So be a bit careful if you're taking longs in Bank Nifty. All right. Always watch other sectors as well. This is breaking out as well. I think this is Reliance or something. But Nifty IT, something like Nifty Pharma, you see Nifty Pharma, very strong structure. So Bank Nifty, be a bit careful right now in Bank Nifty. It's probably about to come down till this demand. Maybe something here, right? Something like this. All right, not this arrow. It will just be range bound in this area, I think. When there is a move in the morning itself, right? When there is a 800-point move in the morning itself, don't expect anything more than that without a quick shakeout, right? Views on Singer, right? Views on Singer India. I've stopped tracking this chart. The chart is all right. See, the stock is looking all right. Um, you can wait for this supply to be taken out. Actually, a breakout here and then a pullback can be bought. So don't. Aptus is good. Aptus we've discussed multiple times. This is good. This is really good. You can start buying this. So by this arrow, I don't mean that you short here. All right, don't short here because the structure is still bullish until this demand is taken out. We are expecting the structure to cool off a bit. All right, either it will cool off till here or it will just go sideways and the EMA will catch up later in the day. Any of the two things can happen. Don't short here. It's not a short call. All right. Uh, Tata Power. All right. Tata Power is the structure is really good. Nifty Energy was actually very strong. So if you checked out Nifty Energy, energy stocks were actually setting up really nicely. Three sectors, right? Three sectors: energy, banks and financials, and your auto. Keep an eye on these three sectors for the coming months. All right. So, based on the pre-budget structure, these three sectors have retained their bullishness. So look at the stronger charts in these sectors. Power grid is really strong. Tata Power is also really strong. This chart is just too good. I mean, look at this chart. Despite all the bearishness, it never corrected below the 50 EMA, right? So this is really good. In Petro, I think is down because of the earnings. Yeah. So see again, this is the same thing. When the stock is far from the demand, when the stock is here, never buy it. If you're buying it and it shows a rejection like this, you exit that stock. So I think metals might be good as well. Metals, let's check out metals. All right, metals. There is nothing in metal as such. Metals, a few stocks are actually decent, but nothing overall. Nothing is there. All right, so let's see. GMR Infra is again, I think. So you see, we talked about this supply right here. We talked about this supply right here. So it's testing the supply for the first time. So right now, you see, I mean, it is showing some signs here, but on the hourly chart, if you'll see, it is extended. So now the plan of action in this structure will be wait for this, something like this, and then a two-part swing for a breakout. All right. So something like this, if it happens, then I'll also buy it. But right now, avoid this. All right. See, Nifty is still bullish. So the defensives are actually picking up. The Bank Nifty, even if we see a new high here, it's most likely to be sold into. Right. So avoid any trades in Bank Nifty right now. All right, JK paper. Let's check it out. JK paper, good one, but again, look at this entire area of supply. Right, this scares me. I can never actually buy here. JK paper, I think you're talking also about this weekly moving average which I discussed yesterday. And if you're doing that, good one. So you can actually buy it and monitor it around this supply, all right? This weekly supply. If it starts to drop, then there is a chance that it might break the low. So that then you should exit. All right. So see, whenever you're trading the index, it's not necessary. I mean, you don't just have to look at the chart. So what is my plan when I'm trading the index? And it's not some technical plan. The plan is you have to see the constituents of Nifty. So let's just open the chart of Nifty the constituents of Nifty for a minute, right? So this is Nifty 50, right? And Nifty 50, if I just a second. So when you're planning a trade in Nifty, right, you want to see which sectors are actually moving Nifty, right? So you see, all in all, there are actually four sectors which can affect Nifty together, right? The biggest one is the financials and banks, then it's IT, then it's Reliance, oil and gas. Basically, 11-12% is Reliance itself, and then there is consumer goods, which is basically I think the FMCG companies, HUL and ITC and all that, right? So basically all these four sectors they can move Nifty. Rest other sectors they can move apart from Nifty. It doesn't really matter in the index. So mostly you'll see finance, bank, and Reliance, right? So now, all right, we already dropped. So you, never mind. Right. So I'll just yeah. So I was talking about these are the major sectors in Nifty. So when you're taking a long in Nifty, and you see that suppose in the morning Nifty was in this area right here where it was about to break out. At this point of time, Bank Nifty was already way up. All right. So So Bank Nifty, if it's way up, then it basically means that something is falling, and IT was falling in the morning. All right. So when IT is falling in the morning and Bank Nifty is way up, extended, right? So when this happens, there's a chance that Bank Nifty might correct and IT might go up. So Nifty is not the best choice to take a long in that time. At that time, Nifty is not the best choice. Nifty IT is probably the best choice if it sets up to take a long trade. All right. And similarly for the other side as well. If Nifty, suppose Nifty is extended, right, and IT is extended, Bank Nifty is sideways. So instead of taking a long in Nifty or Nifty IT, it's probably better if you start shorting Nifty Bank when Nifty starts to turn around. All right. If it's breaking some demand or something. So you have to, so these three, Nifty IT, Nifty Bank, and Nifty 50. All right. You want to analyze all three together always. Right. You want to analyze all three together always. And then you can find some very nice correlations which will easily help you decide the direction. So I'll just clear all this out. So Bank Nifty, you see, there was a dip, right? Immediate dip down and then a bounce as well, as we have talked about. So always just plot the 50 EMA if you have not done it yet. All right. So a lot of doubts. CCL products. All right. Okay, this is not the. CCL is good. CCL has been good for some time now. We've been talking about it for some time. It's a good chart. Brigade as well. Brigade, yeah, I forgot about Brigade. Brigade is also one of the strongest realty stocks. Yeah, my bad. Brigade is also one of the strongest realty stocks. All right, Vakrangi, nothing here, nothing here, nothing here. Don't do anything here. Exa traders, again, nothing here as well. Nothing here. See, this is why I tell you, this supply, this is a big block of supply. It'll take a lot of time to clear this out. IRCTC is alright. IRCTC, we have talked about this demand around 780 in the previous lives, and the low was 785. The structure is good. Any dip is buyable in IRCTC. Keep your stop below this low. Bharat Forge is alright. Bharat Forge, you can find better auto stocks. You see this entire distribution area right here. So you can find better auto stocks. Ratan India Enterprises, good one. This is a good chart, really good one actually. You can buy something here. Keep your stop below this low. All right. So what do we have here? So it's trying to stabilize here. Let's see. Again, this demand. See, so everything works together in tandem. This was extended. That was extended. Both came down to value areas, proper value areas. Now they're stabilizing. So very easy to track the intraday path of the index mostly. Adani Power is good. Adani Power is good. This is the supply which is testing right now. You can actually get in Adani Power. You can keep your stop below this low. All right. Hexa Tradex I discussed. I think yeah. I've bought Fortis Healthcare at 300 now. I just want to know whether the stock is in the position to cover up my loss. All right. So I'll check it out. Actually, you shouldn't. No, you shouldn't sell it. See, when you're seeing this is the previous base in Fortis, so you bought the breakout. I'm assuming of this base. So you want to see where the demand is coming from in this base, right? And it's coming from this entire area right here, or maybe you can take the last candle. This is where the demand. See, whenever a base is built up, it will be built up at some demand of the previous trend, right? Because that is which led to the last high. So it will be built up at the demand of the previous trend. So here the demand is actually here. So in Fortis, if you have watched my previous lives, a lot of people were asking if we can buy Fortis here. But at that time, this was the demand which I was talking about, somewhere around 270, right? So you see, so you always want to see whenever you're buying it, how far you are from the demand zone. So here you're very far from the demand zone, right? So this move is almost guaranteed if the market gets weak, and that is exactly what happened here, right? Sorry. And this kind of a structure you will usually find when the market is extended as well. So sorry. So yeah, so when you see the small cap index was extended here, this is when you will find structures like Fortis when they're very far from the demand zone. All right. So yeah, so you shouldn't cover up your loss because the actual demand zone is here. All right. So the structure is still good. Don't worry about it. If it starts going below 250, then you can exit. Till then, the structure is all right. And Ridale is also really bullish. Yeah. So this stock has been bullish since here, but it never moved. I think it has already moved a lot since here, around 40%. Yeah, but this is really bullish here. This is good. This is a good stock. Amber Enterprises, there is nothing again. Reactions do not mean moves. All right. So you see, where was the last supply? The demand zone. Well, first of all, where was the last demand zone? This was the demand zone which led to this high, right? This high right here. This was the base. Held the base, went up. There was a long trade here. I think a lot of people took it as well. Then there was an exit right at this candle. And now again it's going up. So now see the first supply is the highest supply. So it will form a range like this. Global Vector, all right. Global Vectra Healthcare, all right. This is very liquid. I cannot talk about this. Cannot really talk about this. All right. Andrew Yule base. Yeah, I'll check that out as well. Andrew Yule. Andrew Yule base is it is very wide. All right, it's very wide. So this supply right here, the demand is actually below as well. So it's far from the demand. It's at the supply. So avoid this. Structure is all right. There is nothing wrong with the structure as such. Hester Biosciences. So I I think we talked about this demand. So you see how well it's holding this demand right here. Structure is good until this demand is taken out. So you can plan your entries accordingly. All right, we're dropping in a straight line. So whenever things are extended, you see what happened here now. See, when will there be a long in this scenario, right? So when you're seeing a structure like this, that it's coming down to some value area, and I'll draw it on the India 50 chart. So our view was that it will come down to this value area. So now see, when it comes down to this value area, and listen to this very carefully, it's a bit complex and advanced. When it's coming down to a 5-minute value area, it's forming these 1-minute supplies as well, right? So there will always be a reaction. There will always be a reaction. That reaction will get muted at this 1-minute supply, or maybe some proper value area, right? Like it got muted around this supply right here, which is the 5-minute supply. So you want to wait for a dip first, and then you want to see that that this freshly formed demand is holding, right? If this is not holding, then there is actually no point of looking for a long because the structure is still on the downside. All right. So when this demand starts to hold, what will the price do? It will go back up and it will go sideways here. This is where you take a long at a demand zone. All right. Don't buy the reaction. Don't buy pin bars. That is a very uh, amateur way to do it. Don't buy the pin bars. You always want to wait for the price to stabilize and then start buying it. All right. So you see the reaction came down, this rolled over at the demand, no reaction from the demand, and then this dropped. Right? So always wait for this reaction right here. I'll just mark it in a separate block right here. All right. So always wait for this reaction. Right. So let's take out a few. Um, you follow proper Wyckoff. Have I talked about any single Wyckoff term yet? Did Wyckoff talk about demand or supply zones? Come on, at least ask questions which you can see I'm talking about, or which you can hear me talking about, related to that. All right. Kowai, Mr. Bioscience is on weekly. All right, I'll check it out. Yeah, weekly chart really good. Good chart. Good one. Rounding bottoms are formed. Yeah, that is how rounding bottoms are formed. Yes. It's. I mean, of course, it won't be that picture perfect every single time. So again, you'll have to apply more concepts regarding how much space is there. So suppose if you see something like this is not a rounding bottom which I'll trade because there's a lot of space here. So all this stuff is now reserved for the mentorship, which I cannot really talk about because I've already given almost everything for free. All right, Kowai Medical. Yeah, this is good as well. This is good. The only problem is it's sitting at the demand, right? I want it to trade here. So wait for this. Wait for a big candle right here, and then some pullback to buy it. All right. Avoid buying it right now. EVS Electronics. All right. Nothing here again. Extended, very extended stock. Just see when you're studying when you have to buy in an uptrend. You don't have to really do a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of thinking. I mean, it's not that it's not a rocket science. So if I just take a nice little uptrend, let's see where the uptrend proper. Let's see. Right. So let's. Okay. Wait. I'll find a nice. Right. So let's talk about this stock. So when you're seeing the price is here, right? When you're seeing that the price is here, you just go back in time and see what kind of similar structures like this led to a big move. Absolutely none. There was one here, price went sideways for 2 months. All right. There was one here, price went up for like 2 days and then went sideways. All right. So this will tell you that this is not the ideal structure to buy. There was one here, price again dipped down. All right. So where is the ideal structure to buy? After a reaction. So after this point, you see this forms always. All right. This forms. Right. So I'm never buying here. So this is the right time to buy, not here. All right. TCL products for swing when it comes to, yeah, you can buy it. You can buy it. Mahindra and Mahindra for a swing trade. Mahindra and Mahindra is good, but this is a slow mover. You can find better stocks. This is a pretty slow mover, I think. Um, from 720 960, yeah, you can find better stocks. This is the biggest move on the chart, and it's just 20%. So you can do in mid caps, but if you want to buy it, it's a good structure, no doubt about that. So which indices? So you see, why was the bearish bias created in Bank Nifty from the highs? So first of all the FMCG stocks are up. All right, Britannia, Dabur, Marico, all that stuff is up. So if you see something like FMCG, and pharma is bullish as well. Pharma is still retaining its bullish structure. FMCG is still retaining its bullish structure right here. Look at how it's leading the market on the upside. IT is still retaining its bullish structure. Look at how it's leading the market on the upside here. Right. So all these defensive sectors, when they get together and start moving up, Bank Nifty will not give you any up move. Right. So this was a demand. It was trying to get taken out. This supply was holding. So this was a clear down move. But again, why did I not short it? Because the structure was still bullish back then. All right. So it was still bullish. You could have taken a short. You could have taken it with a small size. But I personally don't prefer to short when it's far from the average. So I'll wait for a proper distribution base before actually shorting it. So this is what I'd like to short. All right. This is what I'd like to short. This is a nice short for me. From the top itself, I usually avoid, even if I can spot it just about when it's about to fall. So I'd still avoid it mostly. Intense technologies, it's already downtrend. All right, so it's good. But again, you see, how far did it go from here? So maybe if we are doing this, then maybe we're somewhere here. So maybe a bit more, maybe something like this, because we are still inside this high. So this is a proper representation of what is going on here. All right. So some kind of pullback is left. We are extended. Structure is good. Doesn't mean it will keep going on forever. The structure is good, but some kind of pullback is needed here. All right, NR Agarwal. This is all right. This looks good. You can actually buy this. This looks really good. Yeah, you can find your entries here. This is really good. It's not that liquid, but still good enough, I think. Yeah. VIP on weekly. Yeah, VIP. I remember the chart. The chart is just too good. All right, VIP Industries. No sign of bearishness yet. The chart is really good. This is about to go. This stock is about to go. All right, Southwest. Southwest Pinnacle. I mean, chart is good, but again, it's extended, so there is no point buying this. All right, Alankit Limited. Again, nothing here. It's in the no structure. It's in no structure to get traded. All right. So Bank Nifty, you see, it's stabilizing. So now see, this is a form of contraction. If you can spot it right here, where is the supply? This is a supply right here, and you see multiple rejections from this area, and now this is about to go till this high, which is here. Mostly in a straight line. There is a bit of supply here as well, so we can, maybe it does not break this supply, but if the supply gets broken, we will see a straight move to this high, which is actually also the 1 minute 50 EMA. So that makes it even a higher possibility trade for this to go back up till here. So this is the current view if you want to scalp as well, right? So just understanding these microstructure uh, points can take you a long way, right? All right, just a second. Right. So I was talking about this contraction right here, and we've already moved like 70 points from there, 60 points. You see, it's moving up in a straight line. So this is the proper contraction. All right. Again, this move. See, so the target is already done, right? This was the target, and it's already done right here. So budget, no budget doesn't matter. Market moves like this. All right. You see, immediate 100-point move, just like that. So it doesn't matter if it's budget, if it's not a budget. The market will move how it always moves, right? So again, see, rejecting from that exact area. So this is not, I mean, if you're watching this for the first time, you just want to know where the 50 EMA is, where your last supply is, and what structure is being formed at the current supply. All right, that's it. So again, now we are back to the previous supply. So this view also played out, the one which I talked about, the bounce view. So now, honestly, just leave this thing alone. Enough for one day, I guess. Right. So just seeing your lives. Yeah, you can learn a lot. You can watch the previous lives as well. Uh, you can watch the lives on the date where the market behaved in a way which you couldn't understand. So that will help you understand why that move happened. All right. IEX for a swing. IEX, I think, is breaking down. IEX is IEX. There is no trade in IEX. Nectar Life Science, again, nothing here. The structure is all right, but honestly, you see this supply, it wasn't really testing it out, turning around. So came back to the 50 EM, and now it's holding this demand. So you can actually look for a move up and then some sideways action. to complete this base, and then you can get a move till the upside. All right. So no more doubts, I guess. If you have any doubts, you can send on the all chat. Hero Motocorp, all right. Hero Motocorp bullish, extended but bullish. A bit extended. I wouldn't personally buy here. The supply, it's actually, I'm already watching it. Um, but the only reason I'm not buying it is it's very extended and the supply is right here. So I don't want to get caught in something like this. Lakshmi Corporation, Lakshmi Chemical. All right, what is this? Just a second. All right, this is so I think we've already discussed this. This is the demand zone right here. So I want it right here. See, I want it at this level. If it's not coming there, then I'm happy to let it go. It's holding this low as well, which is a good sign, but this is the best place for the long. Naukri. Naukri, don't watch Naukri for the next 2 months. All right, don't watch the stock. It's come down all the way to the previous base. It reacted from the breakout demand as well. So these are points of reaction. All right, this, some here, somewhere here as well. So avoid this stock. This is absolutely done. All right, it will take a long time for it to resolve all these. So avoid this. Maybe you can see something like this. So you see, this was from the high, it was a 50% or 40% drop in Naukri in the COVID times. All right, and this was again a 45% drop. So it's not actually worse than COVID. All right, it's not actually, I mean, any better than COVID. So if you're scared of this and you're not scared of this, then there's some serious introspection which you need to do um, in your trading framework. All right, if your framework tells you to invest here, I mean, when a good stock dips by 50%, suppose that is a framework. I wouldn't suggest anyone to use this, but suppose this is your framework. So, and you're buying it here, then there's absolutely no reason you shouldn't be buying it when there is the COVID fall, right? Just because the narrative around the entire structure is that the world is going to end, doesn't make this fall any more, I mean, any worse than this one, right? Both are equal, almost equal in percentage terms. So always follow the market structure. So you won't be able you'll be able to discount the noise very, very easily. Bata India really strong. Bata India is one of my favorite structures in the market right now. This is really strong. At the all-time highs, forming a nice base, trying to break through supplies. Any sort of lower time frame action is viable. Very strong. One of the strongest FNO stocks actually after PSU banks, I think. PSU banks and Canara Bank as well. Let's see what's going on. So it's a bit down today, but Canara Bank again, if you see, dipped down to the last demand. There was a reaction right here, but then again a fall. Now it's a very bullish. So any dip is buyable. It's actually moved a lot, but still. Right. So Bank Nifty is just clear everything out. Just a second. All right. Yes, it was something like this, right? Yeah. Um, do you use volume analysis? No, I do not. I do not really look at volumes anymore. I used to use volume analysis, but now I don't. All right. I mean, once you decode the price structure, volumes, I mean, they're not really adding to anything, right? If you can anticipate a fall here, then volumes are not really adding to anything, and then a reversal. So once you know your exact points, then volume is not doing anything. You're just working around that. So price is always supreme to volume. Price is always first. Then you can, add volume to it. So you can add volume to your analysis. But beyond the point, volume is not useful at all. It's not helping you with anything mostly. Southwest Pinnacle. Yeah, we discussed this. We discussed the structure is really good. Don't buy it here, but your sense of structure is good. It's a bit extended. Mindtree for intraday. All right, Mindtree for intraday. Nothing in Mindtree for intraday. This is the demand zone right here. So if you are watching for a long trade, suppose you're watching for a long trade, you see here again, when you're seeing that this is where the contraction is happening and you're taking a long trade, this is a bad trade because this is a V-shaped reversal. So this structure is poor for a long. All right. Now it's kind of setting up, but again, now it's far. So it's a bit extended on all charts. RVNL. Let's check out RVNL. RVNL, we've talked about the supply. So let it do something around the supply. It's rejecting again from that supply. All right. So we got that reaction from that 50 EMA area right here. So this supply is about to probably reject the stock again. If it breaks through this supply, then you will then you might see some up move. But I wouldn't participate in that. All right. Nahar cap. All right. All right. Just a second. Nahar cap was one of the strongest stocks. Promoter was buying here. It just went like 6x from that level. I think even more than probably something like, yeah. So still very strong. The fundamentals are great as well for this company. The fundamentals are really good. So again, you're seeing some rejection right here. Just clockwork, nothing else. Have you stopped using SW Solar? Has given a reaction now moves towards supply. SW Solar, it's in a bearish structure. Why are you watching? Once this demand is broken, it's bearish. Have you stopped using VWAP? Used to be greatly advocate. What's your view on it for intraday use? You can use VWAP, but 50 EMA is better. 50 EMA is much better actually. You short on Euro USD on 5-minute. All right. Why are you short on Euro USD? I talked about going on long here. All right. So it's already went up, right? So it has went up nicely. We talked about long yesterday as well. That all the dip is buyable now. So that played out pretty nicely. Now, why are you short here? I'm not really sure. Maybe you've seen this supply, or maybe you're seeing some here. But at this level, I wouldn't take any trade. So for shorting, you want to see that this demand is getting taken out, right? This one right here. So this is a lower time frame demand. So you'll probably see some reaction out of this. So you can manage your trade accordingly. But try to play around the EMA, right? These are areas where trends start. All right, not in the middle of nowhere. This was where the trend was starting on the long side. Nice move. Now just let it come back again. What are the things you look for? Do you suggest divergence? All that stuff is just it's a proxy basically. If it works, it works. But if I can just see the candles and tell you where the price is trying to go, then what's the point of RSI divergence or a MACD divergence, right? If I can just spot contractions properly, then I know when the price is trying to move. So it depends on what one is comfortable with. I prefer to look at this price. So what are the things I look for in fundamentals? Accelerating growth. Only the one and only condition. The only stock which goes up. The only good stock is the stock which is going up, right? And the stocks which go up, almost all of them have the same thing in common. Their growth is accelerating. What do I mean by accelerating growth? So if I show you just a sec. And this is not for a long-term investment kind of a um, thing. All right. So don't buy and forget while you're doing this. I'll just tell you what I look for. Let it load. We'll see. All right. So I was talking about Nahar Capital, right? So I'll just search it up. So this is the quarterly earnings, right? So this is Nahar Capital, right? So you see here, this was minus 32 in September, and now you see this is accelerating growth. All right. There was one bad month. Probably they repaid something of that is. I mean, you have to check it out. But all in all, the growth is steadily going up. So this is a great stock to buy, right? And if you see something like, tell me which stock which has gone up significantly. Let's see. Let's take HFCL. HFCL has gone up a lot. Almost all of them have this thing in common, right? So you see this accelerating growth, and now it's trying to fizzle out. So now you see it's gone sideways. All right. So you want that growth behind you. While trading a sectoral move, do we trade the stock which is relatively stronger, hasn't fallen a lot, or trade stock that's fallen a lot? You trade the stock which is trying to move with the sector, all right, and you trade the strongest stock always. I will never buy a stock which has fallen a lot. All right, they might, so the sectoral move might be because of the stock which are rebounding from lows. If that is a situation, if that is a condition, um, then you have to adapt to it. It doesn't mean that you will just trade the uh, weaker stocks. So when will that happen? So there will be two kinds of stocks. One will be strong like this, and then they'll dip down. Another will be weak like this, and then they'll dip down. So if this is rebounding faster than this, it doesn't mean that this will go up later as well. Right? You always want to buy this. Always. Donier Industries. I talked about this yesterday as well. This is the supply which it's rejecting from, right? So until this demand is holding, we're fine. So keep your stop below this demand if you've already entered. I would probably exit the trade right now. There's nothing in this trade for me. I'll probably exit if I was in it. All right. So a lot of doubts, contraction, strongest stock, relative strength. We'll discuss those in the coming lives. Let's save something for tomorrow. All right. So make sure that you like the video, guys. It helps with the algo. And that is it for today. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. And all right, we're breaking through the supply again. So again, don't take longs at this level. All right, and this is not exactly a volatile market because everything is working as per the plan. So the market is good. Nifty is leading as expected because the defensives are leading. So you see something like where is the index? Right. So see, this is leading. This is why Nifty is leading. Like we talked about, pharma is probably going up as well. Let's check out pharma. Pharma is all right. Pharma is stabilizing. So mostly the defensives are leading. IT is also leading up. So don't expect a big move in Bank Nifty today. All right. This supply maybe it would reject from day high again. So don't expect a big move in Bank Nifty. Don't trade Bank Nifty today. Right. So that is it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.